thank you very much. Usually I'm not very fond of this saying thank you very much to him to that, but I'm very glad to be here, really, because I work for you, believe it or not, for 1 year, okay? And finally I see many of you, many I already met, unfortunately for them, sometimes. With many of you I spoke, and I had the pleasure to spend these 2 days with you, and I have to say that I feel very comfortable. Okay, it's not true. I'm nervous, I'm anxious, I'm tense. Okay, but not because of me. Be careful, because now this presentation is about you. So, for this reason, at lunch, probably you noticed there was no tomatoes. I asked not to give you tomatoes. But anyhow, whatever you find, how to say, can feel in discomfort with whatever I'm going to say. There is John. John is the responsible for every flows of this presentation, and whatever you like, it's my. Okay, so yes, let's see. Yes, I'm a man of church. I don't know why, I don't know how, but it happens that I started collaborating, and I'm constantly collaborating with the religious organization. And part of the others that I didn't mention because I'm not very proud of. Why am I here? Because this was the question. You know, even Father Bruno told me why you were here. I said because you invited me. Yes, I don't know why. So the reason is that in 2021, that man and in collaboration with Father Bruno, okay, they appointed me for doing this work. Which work? A sort of an investigation, okay? An investigation about how and where and under whatever circumstances the poor chaplains are working worldwide. Why? Because there were previous part of other investigations who collected some distresses from the side of the chaplains. So they say, okay, go and understand which distresses, which unrest these fellows are experiencing. So basically what I did, forget my glasses, and I did this investigation is a process that is in 2 steps. The first step, thank you very much, Maria, without you, I don't know, charitable organization. The work was done through interviews that I had with 15 of you. Many of you are here. An online survey through a questionnaire, boring, but it was not supposed to be like that, but there was a pandemic, so we did it like that. To which 94 of you answered. Out of these 94, we had different characters. We had priests, we had deacons, we had religious women, and lay people. Okay, just this, this gave me a lot of concern that it took much time to understand what I was doing that still I'm very confused. To tell you the truth. The frame. So the idea was the second step of the process was after the investigation, after the collection of information, after the analysis of this information, to take what to do now, from now on. Okay? And the idea was to prepare design training for the poor chaplains. And it is what we did. But be careful, the idea was not to investigate the technical issue, okay, or to provide you with technical components about your work, but to understand the frame, the multiple frames in which you are involved. Okay? Why the frame? Because poor chaplains basically are included in two frames. There is the organization frame and there is the personal one. And usually, according to my experience, when the two are synchronized, aligned, everything is okay. When they are disaligned, there is some problem. So that turns out as a problem for the individuals, and at the end of the day, as a problem of the organization. Okay? So, the frame, we know, at home we have a painting or the picture of our beloved ones, and we put a nice frame. Sometimes the frame is better than the picture. In my case, usually it is. I say, my wife, I always ask her, why there is this big frame? And say, my photo is so little. Maybe there is. Okay, thank you very much. Then I understand. It takes time, but because I'm slow. But, so, and the frame help us. Help us in focusing, in separating and unifying. For instance, here we have a mass of person, but we cut off 8, 9 of them. Okay? When there is something like this, automatically go and look what is into the frame. And probably some of you are asking yourself, why he framed that person? By chance. Okay? I did it this morning, there is no any reason. But you are looking at what is included in the frame. Okay? And the frame, Stella Maris frame. Stella Maris frame is made by the motu proprio, okay? Because that is, unfortunately, the only formal documents through which is the reason of the existence of Stella Maris is explained. With that, there is also the mission of Stella Maris, and there is the organization of the structure of the different components of the organization. But you see that when the frames are consumed, worn out, brittle, whatever, again, the others reappear. Okay? So you don't look anymore to those characters in the picture, but you start moving around and probably try to understand if there are, for instance, there are similarities, there is someone that is like the others, how many black people are there, how many Asians, how many Europeans, etc., etc. When the frame is crumbling down, we are a bit lost. We have to, usually what we do is to look at ourselves, we focus on what we do. We lose the attention and we don't consider anymore what is around us, what is driving us, and we focus on ourselves, on our job. Usually we cling to it, we embrace it. It's some sort of defensive mechanism. Okay, the organization is not helping me anymore, so I have to do myself. And this is exactly what is happening today in Stella Maris. Because along the it's not even it's my invention. We listened yesterday also on the other presentations. Along the years, this motu proprio is not able to provide the guidance that is needed to such a complex organization. Okay? It's when we had the meetings and when we had no one knows basically the chain, what we call the chain of command. No one knows who is accountable for. No one knows who are the relationship in between the different components. There is the bishop promoter, there is the dicastery, there is Stella Maris UK, there is the regional coordinator, there are national directors, etc., etc. Everything is very, very, very complicated, and not, I would say, very, very few people out in Stella Maris are aware of it. And the best part is that they don't care, basically. They go on doing their job, focusing on what they think is important. I'm constantly underlining this aspect because it's very important. To the point that this is very uncomfortable to tell you after these days, but to the point that the means become the ends. Since we are focusing and we are doing our daily tasks, duties, without any kind of guidance, what we are doing become the end. The goal is what we are doing. Our existence is explained by what we are doing in that moment, not what we are supposed to achieve or pursue for the benefit of the beneficiaries and of the organization, because the two, they are always going together. Okay? No, we forget it. When I started, I was so puzzled because whoever I was talking with, they were talking, what are you doing? We distribute SIM cards, we visit in shop, ships. I am a very simple person, no? But I'm very framed at the same time. See, why you are telling me this? You want to tell me that your job is to distribute SIM card? It's not. Come on, right? It's not. There's to be some other scope. That is the mean to another end. And the end, as we listen these days, is to allow the people to stay connected with the world. I know that Pablo yesterday said about what they are going to do with the SIM cards, etc. Who cares? I mean, they are connected with. Are they talking with the wives or with the lovers? It's not my business. I mean, they have their own world with which they want to stay in contact with. Okay, fine. But that is the goal. That is the goal. To let them be connected. And so, since yesterday and this morning, we listen very much, oh, these people are isolated, then isolated becomes depression, then depression becomes anxiety, that anxiety becomes mental health, etc., etc. Yes, of course, everything started from that. But we need to be, for us, for our well-being, this morning we talk about burnout. Of course, we are in burnout, because during the piloting sessions that we had, come on, after a while you say, but when we're openly discussing, and some of you said, but I have a problem with the story of the SIM card, because I think that a Vodafone operator could do it better, and it's true, basically. So what are you doing there, if you consider that your job is that? The same with ship visiting. Ship visiting is important, but it's not that you say, my work is visiting ships. And no, my work is going on board and to check some sort of conditions in order to understand if these people are welfare is good or not. Guys, I don't want to be pedant, or extremely boring, but I belong to a world where wording matters. Okay? Because the way we call what we are and what we do makes the difference. And and shape what we are, and shape at the end the organization for which we are working. So, very briefly, because again, luckily I was preceded by other meaningful interventions. In a nutshell, we have these three dimensions, problematic dimensions. The first, that we want to admit or not, is that until the 20th century we were very lucky because all the fishers and seafarers, they were Catholic, so they belong to us. What does it mean? They belong to us, okay? There is a cognitive aspect about this. When I meet some of you priests with uniform, I call it uniform. I'm not very good in working, although I'm working for a religious organization, but I'm not. I can't pretend to be. So for me, it's a uniform, and I call it uniform because it is a uniform. Okay? And when I meet a person with a uniform, that is a priest, that is a policeman. He was a policeman before this morning, but he didn't look like a nice guy. A cook, a bus driver, etc. I know how to behave with this person. I know what to expect by that person. And so, if I am a priest, or deacon, like my friend Nick knows that the others, or knows that when I see him, my frame is perfectly meeting his one. And we talk the same language. But there is the change, and now we know, we listen. And it's not that, by the way, I'm an absolute beginner. Before last July, I'm living in a city with a port. With Stalaris, but I never heard. And this is another aspect that maybe we don't have time or maybe at the end, a few words. The other issue is that the frame in which they are involved became a bit complicated. Okay? There is the short-term contract, there is the exploitation, abuses, harasses, etc., etc. Okay, maybe before it was different, I doubt. But maybe now we are living in years where we are paying attention to that. The last one is the situation in which they are encased when they are working. Okay? They are in these horrible vessels, they are stinky, and they are working 24/7 basically. They are working many times, as I know because I know people that are saying. They are working with other people that they hate, they despise, they can't stand, they stink differently from them, they prepare different stinky food, different from their own stinky food. And so this creates, again, tension on board, etc., etc. Perfecto, bellissimo. And these people are sailing in the ocean, completely separated, isolated by the world, basically. Their own world is the vessel. And one of you taught me something that I never thought about it, and it is, be careful, the vessel, the maritime industry, the world of seafaring, is a total institution. I'm a sociologist, I know the concept of this total institution. Thank you, Ricardo, because you were very, very beneficial to me, because we are framed in the same concept, or we speak the same language, more or less. And they say, it is true, it's a total institution, meaning that an institution with their own rule. They are different from ours. And these people are there. It's like people in prison. Who said something before? Giacomo. It is true, it's exactly that. It's an environment that is closed to the external world. And these people are living in this environment for many months. Imagine oh no, you imagine what you know. I can only imagine how discombobulating is when you are jumping off a vessel and you are going home. And you see these people, you say, who are they? And so you are not accustomed anymore to live here. So these are challenges, and these are in red the challenges. Hey, come on. We are jumping on board. In the African training, we took a long discussion. Because I like you because you are honest, you're not trying to pretend or to hide the reality, And the guys in Africa, your colleagues, they said, hey, come on, but it's not that they don't care about us, it's they push us out of the ship. Wow, let's say, that is a turning point, I would say. So what do we do with these people? You're asking me, I know. So there is not only the lack of interest of the sacraments, liturgies, etc. There is all they don't recognize you. They see you with your uniform, but for them the uniform probably also can provoke some further distress. Okay. The other one, before we were going on board and we were blessing and we say we love you, we love each other, etc. because we belong to us. Good trip, have a nice trip, and take care. And we were all happy. Now you go on board and you find a bunch of people that are completely pissed off against everything. If you see them, when you are meeting them, and you are overwhelmed by the request of what? That we don't even know the extent of needs that these people are experiencing. The third one, we meet people that are they are so crazy about the environment when they are not abused, exploited, and beaten up. They are anyway exhausted, okay? And anyway are in need of something from you, or even they are expecting something from you. Then they see a uniform and they say, I can expect nothing. Okay, and you feel very bad. I guess, yes. Because to complicate the framework, our beneficiaries are not the same. They are different. Here I call it this way. I don't know if it is correct or not. Frankly speaking, I don't care. But the concept is very there. Okay. There are some of you who are working with the locals. What does it mean, locals? I mean other fishers that are going back and forth. Or seafarers that are leaving for many months, but then they are coming back. Okay? So you don't move from the port, and you are dealing with them in the daily life, basically. When they are not there, months it can happen that you are dealing with the families. Okay? And this is a frame of work, completely different than the other one. Because many others of you are working with itinerants, people that are docking in. Hey, I need a toothbrush, I need something, and then say hello, goodbye, and so. The relationship that we are able to establish with people are different. The first one is a qualitative, let's say, relationship, and ongoing, continuing. There is a continuation in this. Okay, it's interrupted, but it's ongoing and long for long. There is the care of most of the time, I'm just repeating what you told me. Most of the time you are growing together. Most of the time you see them growing up. Okay? And so you see all the development with the family, etc., etc. And so, but at the same time, the last one is the reward in this relationship is very long term because it's not immediate. Okay, the payoff of your job. But the payoff is long term. It's not immediate because you see the problems that are setting up. And then there is the solution of those problems. You are perfectly aware that this solution for those problems it take long time. So you will be rewarded only when the solution will be solved. Sometimes years. Okay. So it's very stressful. At the same time, it's stressful in terms of expectations, but at the same time is easier because there is the famous frame in which the two of you are dealing with. The other part is bizarre because the relationship is inexistent basically. It's very superficial, it's sporadic and transient. And it is based on two extremes. Either the person that wants to brush or toothpaste or whatever else, or the souvenirs for the family, etc. Or someone that is very bad. There is nothing in the middle because simply there is no life there and there is no time to develop anything. So the reward for you is very short term because you can say, I need to brush my teeth. Sorry if I continue with this metaphor, but I need to brush my teeth. Here is the toothpaste. Thank you very much. I did my job. Okay? Because who knows if I will ever see these people again. And unfortunately, you see that the lines are green and white, and green in honor of the Celtic. It's a pity that Joe is not here because he will be very proud of me. So, what we do, see, there is the extremes and there is the middle. The extremes are the sacraments. And again, here, there are the representative of all the four characters that are performing the four chaplain work. Okay? There is the sacraments. Who is dealing with the sacraments? You? Okay. Me? No, I'm sorry. I am cut off. I learned that I can baptize someone, but and I'm eager to. Then there is the professional. Okay, let's go because otherwise Maria will kill me. Okay. So on the one side of the continuum there are the sacraments, on the other side there are the professional things. In the middle there is the pastoral care. Yesterday we had fun about the story of pastoral care. Frankly speaking, I had during this year of experience working with you, because I understood that if I am confused, you are confused too. I mean, not all of you, but because clearly there is someone that is in charge of the sacraments. Clearly there is some other one that is in charge of the professional thing. When I say professional, is that a person has a legal problem. Okay, unless I am a lawyer, I can do anything. You understand what I mean? And it's not that your job is to become a lawyer, unless you were before getting the votes, etc., being ordained. But no, I mean, you need to have someone that is a lawyer that take care of formally, the formal aspects of the protection, the etc. All the rest stays in the middle. And all the rest is what makes the difference, is exactly the added value, is what we listen today, finally, and partially even yesterday, okay? So we can stay close to the people, we can help at different levels, okay? For what we have, because if we don't have 50 volunteers like someone, There are 50 volunteers that are going here and there, mobilization activists, etc., etc. So if I'm alone in Trieste, as I live, I go to the seafarer and say, my dear, I love you, I like you, we can drink something together, what can we do, okay? But it's enough, if there is the only thing that I can do. This morning we had this very meaningful presentation of Giacomo. It's true. I mean, and Paolo yesterday, we open our arms and say, listen, let's try to support each other, not that I support you, you support me as well, because I'm suffering as well. So, there is, of course, but this continuum is impacting on the frames again, because a priest, there is the sacraments, and the reward for a priest is when he provides the sacrament. Is enough. I mean, he did the day, but the others, the lay, they have they are naturally focusing on something else. That is the social aspect, the legal aspect, etc. It's normal, because if I become tomorrow port chaplain in my town, for me the sacraments are the last, but the welfare condition of the people are the priority. But it's normal, it's my scotum, no? I'm come si dice. So that on the left is the playground of the ordained. The right is the playground basically of the lay and religious, because religious are very tenacious on this. And in the middle there is the space of everyone. So once and forever we solve the problem of this pastoral care. Okay? Pastoral care, it's not me that I'm not even a priest, include everything. Okay? Including the spiritual aspects. Spiritual aspects are different. Spiritual support is not the sacraments. Because we can meet, as before, again, was said, we have the aptitude, the possibility to meet the others at this level that is intangible, but it's a language that everyone knows. A Muslim, an Hindu, a Buddhist, a Christian, a Catholic, etc. They have this inside, is embedded inside. It's just that sometimes we forget that we can get in contact with that dimension. But that dimension is the most important one. The others are technicalities, even the sacraments, are technicalities. Okay. The most important issue is the pastoral care in the true sense of pastoral care. But when we are dealing with the streams, because we are meeting people that are in need of the sacraments and the people that are in need of professional support, the two figures, the lay, the priest, etc., they're dependent. There is a mutual dependency. So, meaning that when yesterday someone said the Stella Maris is going towards a ICT and the port chaplain should be lay, etc., I tremble, because they say no, because it becomes an NGO and it misses the possibility to create relationship between people of different culture, different colors, whatever, and different faiths. Be careful about this, because it shouldn't be done. I took the poor Seneca is rolling in the tomb, but this is the problem, the key one. If this is Seneca, if one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable. And as yesterday was discussed, unfortunately we are in this situation. We need to find out a way of figure out the the way to have a port. Okay? Because today those in red are the elements that are impacting on your job today. There is the poor knowledge, but no one knows about the chain of command. There is the lack of guidance, because we don't know. I mean, the mission in motu proprio is allow people to live a life of a holy life. I think that in this room, 150 holy lives there are concepts. If we ask and we investigate, the hierarchy we learn from Bruno, the dicastery care relatively about Stella Maris. There is no roadmap, okay? When the new port chaplains are appointed, we know that most of the time in Texas they are appointed like this. I'm free, do the port chaplain. And this one is lost because it doesn't receive any sort of guidance by anyone. Okay, if he's happy or he's lucky, he can call someone that is live by another port chaplain and say, "What am I supposed to do?" I say, "You do on board, bless the word, bless And last but not least, this story of the benchmarking, that is someone is calling you in a way, some other in another way, you are wearing different logos, etc., and this creates a lot of confusion. And I'm honest, because I was the first one to be confused. Sorry, this is not important. Okay. In this mess, in this confusion, when we asked to the port chaplain, but with whom you are in relation with for the chain of command, and everybody say, "Wow, my bishop, diocesan bishop," because he's the only one that is taking care of them. Of course, part of the diocese. The others are far away, distant. In many cases, they don't even exist. Okay, and in blue and in red. In blue is the ordained, and in red are the lay. The lay are completely neglected. They are the black sheep of this organization, or what? And another issue is that this Stella Maris, that is a globalized organization, is a globalized organization dealing with the globalized issue. Okay, the majority of them, if in yellow is 94, that is the total of the sample, 65 are in contact with someone else. Okay, and look at the lay people again. They are neglectissimi, it's super marginalized, and they are in contact with anyone. But we can't have contact, because when we expanded, but the contact is a contact, I mean, now I know you, I know Esteban, I know David, I know Nick, I know Anne, I know Ricardo, etc., etc. But tomorrow, when I go back home, yes, I have a good memory of you, but it's not that until the next time that we will meet, our relationship is interrupted. Okay, so there is no structured intervention. Margaret this morning, she is one of the few that is struggling, so she didn't say, but she is struggling to create contacts with other port chaplains, because come on, the first time that I was, but are you in contact? No. How come? I mean, your beneficiary is leaving your port and he is going in another port. It's not that he's going sinking in the ocean. Well, sometimes happens, but it goes in another port, and in another port there is someone else like you. Hey, how come that we are not? We didn't establish any sort of I don't know, procedure, referral system, whatever you want to call it. But no, it doesn't exist, and it's amazing. So it is left by the goodwill of each of you. This is the point. Each of you are doing what you can. and the best way you can, and completely in a vacuum. I'm sorry, I think I'm too tough, but this is referred to the frame in which you are, and I have nothing against you. All the people that I met, I mean, you are really saints, on the way of sanctity or sanctification, because you are really doing so much in such a vacuum, okay? That is impressive. So, if someone, Esteban yesterday mentioned about the network, well, Esteban is not a network. Stella Maris is not a network, okay? It's not. Stella Maris must become a network. What is a network? A network is made of members that are trusting each other, that they know each other, they are constantly collaborating each other and supporting each other. This is a network. Otherwise, it can be a confederation, a franchising, whatever you want to call it. I mean, you have the same logo, like Benetton. If I want to open, if I want to open a Benetton shop, I can. Okay, and they say, listen, my dear, just use the logo. Okay, they said they give you everything. They give you they give you everything. But then, what you do and how you deal with the customers, it's absolutely individual. Okay, the people at Benetton doesn't care. Okay, in this moment, for the best of the options, Stella Maris is a franchising. We need to turn in a real network. Okay? I go to the conclusion. What do you think? Well, you have 7 minutes. The others spend time, and now they are. To the point that, very briefly, 1 out of 3 of the people I met are saying that they are not satisfied with what they are doing, and they are not feeling skilled in meeting the new challenges. Hey guys, 1 out of 3 is a lot. It's 30%. It's a lot. We have to think about it. And there is, of course, the loss of meaning. What am I doing? I'm distributing SIM card. I'm supporting people. Sense of inadequacy. But how can I do? I mean, this is bound, is skyrocketing the story of this abusive exploitation, etc. These people are living worse and worse, and what can I do? It's like Jesus Christ with the people with the plug, and it's too much. I mean, I can care someone, but they are becoming too much, and you are only alone. Okay? And then there is the story of the ecumenism. I like very much the story of the ecumenism, but today we have to question ourselves about another sense of ecumenism. That is what we do with the others that don't belong that don't recognize our uniform. Because this is the challenge of today, the real challenge of today. We solve the issue of the other Christian organization because more or less we are in the same frame. But with the others, not. So we have to really, really skill ourselves to what? To simply abandon our uniform. But it's not the uniform. The uniform we can't abandon, of course. But we can abandon the habits that is behind that or beneath that uniform. That is we must do. Paulo yesterday said, Giacomo reinforced today this concept. We need to open our arms and confront and ask how are you doing? I mean, instead of and sometimes be ready to be useless or to feel useless. Be honest and say, I'm sorry, I can't do anything for you in this moment. But no, because this is a mechanism of all the helpers. The helpers get anxious when they can't solve any problems. No? That's why they go around with whatever paraphernalia in order to give some sort of gratification. But gratification for who? But for ourselves as a helper, not for the others. Because we say, we disembark from the gangway and we say, okay, now the situation, but at least I did the rosary and I did my best. Okay? So it's not like this, it's much more complicated. Basta, this one is very boring. Even this one, Maria, are you happy? Yeah, okay. So, this is it's not the last one. Then there is another one. Or even 3, thank you. Okay, what we did, many people here had the opportunity to spend time with me and the others in this meeting that we had in Rome for the European chaplains, in Durban for the African chaplains, and in Manila for the Asian chaplains. Okay? And what we did, and I think that it was, I don't know, then I leave, I run out before, but I think that what we do is here. Okay? What we did to create, to recreate, to dismantle first the current certainties and to recreate the famous frame. Both frame. Understand for whom, for which organization we are working, how we are working, we look at ourselves, consider our flaws, okay, and helping each other in recollect and giving meaning and giving new sense to our job. I think that was refreshing for many people, unless they are Judas and they don't admit, because they admitted, but I have the evaluation forms and everything is written there, so you can fool me out. To conclude, it's not that Stella Maris is going to end tomorrow. No, really. But in the long run, if we don't meet these challenges, but the situation can deteriorate. Okay? At the moment, this organization rests on you. Okay? Because I really, rarely, and I'm not trying to praise you, but really, rarely I met so many people that are so devoted, so motivated, so getting crazy in order to do this job as best as possible, you know? So creative and so resilient. Okay? But this, at the end of the day, if someone doesn't step in and say, okay, let's create a framing where these qualities can find a place where to expand, to bloom, and the organization will be done, will go down. Why? Because you will go down. It's the famous burnout. The burnout is very simple. It's not so complicated. You go resist. It's not that you are lack of energy. You are lack of result. You lack of meaning. You feel useless for yourself and for the others. First for the others, and then as a consequence for yourself. So we need to do something. What? I'm from Milan. I'm a sociologist. 29. So Martin, where is Bruno? Bruno always live, and there are this burning issue. Networking. Stella Maris has to become a real network, and you have to learn how to collaborate with each other. Okay. The intervention must be harmonized. I mean, the 4 statuses, let's say, from the ordained, the religious, etc. It's not that they have to become the one. No. But they have to be included in one frame, able to include all of them. Okay? And not this separation in the continuum. Reshape the posture. We are not living anymore in the 19th or 20th centuries. Again, the story of the uniform. We have to change the posture. We have to go towards the other. We need to meet the other for what they are and try to build a collaboration in order to solve. First of all, to become credible. Second, to become trusted. And third, in this way, only when we get the other trust, we can do something for them together. And absolutely reframe the story of the spiritual approach. Okay? With all the religious organizations I work with, there is some sort of shame. Okay? When they say, "Hey, but we are not skilled. We are not, ooh, you are not skilled for what? Hey, maybe I do a course of social work or psychology because I want to." Oh, this is people with a uniform that are doing this, saying this. No, no, no. Work on this meaning, true meaning of the spiritual support. Because again, as Paolo said, what is the password? That is the password. The password is that intangible dimension that all of us has embedded.